Hi everyone! Today we're going to go over Ecclesiastes step 3. I've officially finished this step and I'm gearing up for step 4. And I am super excited. I just want to show you how step 3 ended and then explain to you a little bit about my thought process about step 4. So let's dive in. And in case you need to see, my friend here has to sit right there during like every video. Now he's cranky because I recorded him and he's like, no, how could you? But that is my little partner in crime in the morning. And he loves to sit right here as I'm Bible studying, which is way too precious. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so step 3 was to look at all the keywords listed on the Ecclesiastes at a glance chart on page 1077. List these keywords on an index card that you can use as a bookmark while observing this book. So I did that. And remember, I did this in 2 waves. I would look at these keywords and then I would also look at the master list, which is in the front of the book. I just printed it bigger. So I would do both as I went through the inductive study. And at first it was a little hard for me to do both at the same time, but I was very quickly able to incorporate all of it together. So as we flip through this time around, I kind of wrote questions or things that I noted in my study. And you'll see the different codes that I created. Some of these I changed. Like I don't like that the wisdom was yellow. I couldn't really see it, so I made it green. I made up under the sun with the sun. Under heaven, I made a little bit of a different color. It wasn't really used that much, but that's okay. And so as we go through, you'll see some of my markings. Now I'm going to tell you, this isn't perfect, and I probably missed some things, and that's okay. Anything highlighted is something that really stood out to me, and I will, at the end of the study, take all of these highlighted words, and I will add them to my prayer notebook that I have, okay? And I did that in in Proverbs. So anything that was highlighted, right? This one, the way of the Lord is a stronghold to the upright. And it was something that really stood out to me. I love that the way of the Lord is a stronghold to the upright. And I pray this all the time. So I maintain the same thing. And you'll see that here, there's a lot of different things going on in this little like tidbit of Ecclesiastes, lines 1 through 9 for chapter 3. But it didn't have specific, right? Remember, I'm a little human, the specific words. And that's what I focused on as I read through this. So some more questions or comments like keep your vows. God can be angry. Guard your mouth. Be careful what you say. Be careful of your speech. And remember, I said I was having a really hard time with what vanity is. And it wasn't until I got to the end, to chapter 12, that I was able to have an understanding of what vanity is. And I think it's super interesting because vanity, and I'm going to, so you better pause this because I'm going to tell you my notes and what was fed into me. I'll put them up here for you guys to see. Nothing on earth will completely satisfy us. Empty, nothingness, idols, breath, worthless, self-control, meaningless. Romans 1:21, Ephesians 4:17. Vanity and fools are often together. Those who see the things of God as foolish. So like that is the definition that I was able to get. And I did I got these probably from Ecclesiastes in a little side note somewhere. And it really helped me clarify the word vanity. And just to show you, I'm going to show you a different card because I wrote out all of vanity. And the reason why I wrote it all out is because I wrote out the scripture because I needed to like trace the word. Okay, so let's say vanity was like my most top sought after. Okay, under the sun. We're going to look at this one. These are whatever stood out to me as I was reading. So anything that had under the sun in it or under heaven, I would write a little tidbit about it, and I would write either the full biblical verse or some sort of shortened version of it. And this would help me understand what under the sun is. And I did that for each of these keywords. Now, it's not perfect. And I know that there are words like righteousness, which I had tons for Proverbs. I really didn't have that much of it this time around, but I think it's because I was really focusing on vanity and what that word meant, and I wanted that to be revealed to me, which is interesting because for the book of Proverbs, and I know I'm going back and forth, but for the book of Proverbs, the main theme of Proverbs was having fear of the Lord. And I didn't know that going in. And now I have this understanding of the fear of the Lord because God revealed it to me in a way in which it moved me. So I'm going to explain what happened. I'm going to just open up my Bible to Proverbs because I have it. So I was watching Heart Dive's Joel video. I don't know what day it is. I can look it up and link it in the bottom, but I was watching that. And in that, there was a lot about locusts. And I was like, what does a locust look like? Let me look this up. So I looked it up online, and it could be a green bug. It can be, that's like the key part of what stood out to me. And I was like, no way. It's a green bug. I saw a green bug. It haunted me all summer. Every time my husband and I, we went out back and we would be doing whatever we were doing outside. I'd be doing my diamond painting. There was this green bug that would try and get stuck in the sticky part of the diamond painting. And a diamond painting is when you take like a pen and you pick up one diamond and you put it in a spot and it's color coded. So it's super sticky so the diamonds don't fall off, but this poor little guy kept trying to get stuck, and I had this realization that this is us with God. Like, we don't always listen to God. God may tell us, hey, don't go this way. Don't go down that path. Don't take that job. Don't do whatever it is. And we don't listen because this little guy was not listening. So as I watched Hard Times Joel, I was also in Proverbs, and all of a sudden I look up what a locust looks like and I start panicking because a locust leaves death and destruction everywhere it goes, and it makes like a cloud of dust when they leave. It's really, if you look it up, it's traumatizing. For me, it like scared the bejeebas out of me. Like, I don't even know how to tell you or explain it to you any other way. Like, I was petrified and I was like, oh my gosh. And God only sends locusts to really teach people a lesson because they are not being obedient to God. So here I am having a little freak out moment in my brain. And I look up because I took a picture of the bug and I looked it up and it was a grasshopper. And I was like, oh my gosh. And that is when I had this realization of the fear of the Lord. It took all of that to work together. So it wasn't just the inductive study. It wasn't just Heart Dive. It was all of it together and having this inner dialogue with myself about what was going on. And the main theme of Proverbs is fear of the Lord. And I'm never going to forget that because now I have locust and grasshopper, right? But now I have this pivotal moment and I understood the fear of the Lord. Now, I always feared him, and that's not to say that I didn't fear him enough, but I have a very different fear on him now. And it really has just transformed the way that I think about God and the things that I do and how diligent I am in being obedient to the things he's calling me to do. So I'm telling you all of this because I feel like, and I'm not done with Ecclesiastes, but there's something with vanity that I'm going to be able to connect to Ecclesiastes by the time I'm done. So I'm super excited for it. Now that I have like a definition, I did order a Bible dictionary that I may incorporate when I'm almost done with whatever book I'm reading. Like I want to be done with the steps. So the next step for Ecclesiastes is looking at every reference to God. Now, here is where I'm kind of like betwixt in between. Like, I don't know which way I'm going. I'm waiting for God to reveal it to me because Daily Grace has a study called The Attributes of God. And whether you are well seasoned, I mean, I've been reading the Bible now for 10 years, which could still seem like a little bit, or it could seem like a lot for some people, but it is incredibly packed with information about God and God's character. And I almost am tempted to put a pause on my inductive study to do the full book of the attributes of God and then take that and apply it to this step. But I'm not 100% sure if that's the way I need to go. So that is where I'm at. I'm going to do an overview of the attributes of God at a later time, maybe later today or tomorrow. I have a few things I need to get done for my master's. We'll see where we end up. But that essentially is how I finish step 3. As I do the rest of the steps, I will still have my keywords out. And as different words speak to me, now that I have clarity over what vanity means, I'm sure that I'll be able to fill in my empty card of righteousness as I continue. So I'm still always on this step. I add to it the more God reveals to me as I continue reading. Now, whenever I start step 4, I created this little thing and it says, and it's literally the directions. Okay, so it's not anything crazy. Look at every reference to God that you marked in your text, which would be a purple triangle colored in yellow. List all you learn about who he is, what he does, and what are we to do in respect to him. So you have 3 components that you now have to look into as you go through step 4. And I feel that part of this should be, who is God's character? Is he being a provider? Is he being omniscient? Is he being like just? Is he having mercy? Is he being love in these moments? So I want to really work on seeing those components as I read it. So if you love this video, please hit the like button, share it with some friends, and we will see what happens. For step 4, pray for me that God will reveal which path I need to take. I need to just dive in and start looking at all the things I learned about him and then add the attributes. I haven't really figured it out, and I'd appreciate some prayer over that. I hope you all have a blessed weekend, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.